Unit 5 study guide numbers 14 through 16. So solving systems of equations. So if you look at number 14, what I notice is that my top equation has a variable 1 that has 1 as the coefficient. So I'm going to solve for x. So I'm going to subtract my 3y over. So x will equal 1 minus 3y. Then I'll take that and I'll plug it in for x. So negative 5 times 1 minus 3y plus 4y will equal negative 24. So I'm solving using substitution. So I'll distribute my negative 5. Then add my y's together and add the 5. So 19 equals negative 19. Divide both sides by 19. So y equals negative 1. Now to solve for x, I'm just going to use the original equation, but I'm going to use the form where I solve for x. So x will equal 1 minus 3 times negative 1. So x will be 1 plus 3, which is 4. So the solution is negative 1, 4. You can always check your solutions to equations by plugging them back in. So if we just do a quick visual check, then first of all I can see that I just reversed the order there. So I should actually have the point 4, negative 1. And then I am visually plugging in 4 and negative 1 into my original equations. And they work. The point works for both. All right, number 15. I was trying to find that pen that I used. I noticed that my second equation has y with the coefficient of 1. So I'm going to add my y to one side and then subtract my 13. So 3x minus 13 will equal positive y. Now I'm going to plug that into my other equation for y. So I get 7x minus 4 times 3x minus 13 equals 32. Now I'll just do the math to solve for x. So on this side I'll have negative 5x, and then if I subtract 52 I'll have negative 20. Divide both sides by negative 4, so I also get positive 4 for x. Then I'm going to plug it in to my equation where I solved for y, so y will equal 3 times what x is, and then subtract 13. So I've got the point 4, negative 1. All right, on 16, I'm going to solve using elimination. So I'm going to multiply my top equation by 7 and my bottom equation by 2. So I can eliminate my y's. So I'll have 21x minus 14y equals 21. And then negative 14x plus 14y equals 14. I'm going to add these equations. So 21 minus 14x will give me 7x's. 21 plus 14 will be 35. If I divide both sides by 7, x equals 5. Now I'm going to plug that into one of my original equations. So I'm going to plug that into my top equation. Either one will work. So 15 minus 2y equals 3. Now just solve for y. So subtract your 15 and then divide by negative 2. So y will equal positive 6. So our solution is the point 5, 6. And again, you can just always do a visual check. So if I plug in the 0.56 into my originals, I get 15 minus 12, and that does equal 3, negative 35 plus 42, and that does equal 7. Let's look at number 17. So a fundraiser was selling t-shirts and sweatshirts. A total of 120 items were sold. T-shirts cost $8 each. Sweatshirts cost $22 each. If 1,632 was brought into the fundraiser, how many of each item were sold? So the first thing you want to establish is what are your unknowns, and that is right here. So t-shirts and sweatshirts. So let's let X equal our number of t-shirts, and we'll let Y equal our number of sweatshirts. Now, if you look back, there are two number situations that will allow you to set up equations for those variables. So one equation will be a total, and one will be the money. So together, we just have 120 items. So we can just say X plus Y, which is t-shirts plus sweatshirts, equals 120. Now we can put money in. So $8 per t-shirt plus 22 per sweatshirt will equal 1,632. Now we can solve either using substitution or elimination. I think I'm going to use elimination, and I'm going to multiply my top equation by negative 8. So I have negative 8x minus 8y will equal negative 960. And then I will just rewrite my second equation. And now I'm going to add these. So I'll end up with 14y equals 600 and, oh, let me get that up again, 672. And then if we divide both sides by 14, so our number of sweatshirts will be 48. And now we can just go to our original to know that our number of t-shirts plus sweatshirts will be 120. So if we subtract 48 from 120, we'll have 72 t-shirts. And in a real life problem, you just want to make sure that you label your answers. It's not as important to write it as an ordered pair, but to label.